No economy in history has ever maintained a constant rate of growth. Even in the most advanced societies, recessions, depressions, and complete economic collapse are unavoidable. Trading on the inside, greed and crony capitalism can all lead to the economic infrastructure collapsing. Pandemics, armed conflicts, and natural disasters can all spark a rapid breakdown of economies and societal norms. Preparing for a society's economic collapse begins with understanding how society breaks down, and history can teach us how that happens. Is it possible to be prepared if a country collapses? Can you tell me what to expect? In this video, we'll look at the 10 most common things that occur after a society collapses. Not all of these things happen at the same time, and your community may not be affected by all 10 of them, but they will happen. Number 1, food scarcity. Food scarcity is one of the first symptoms of a societal collapse. Farms may continue to produce crops at the same rate, and ranchers may continue to raise animals at the same rate. However, the ability to harvest crops, process meat, and manufacture foods and transport food from farm to ranch or ranch to your store or table may fail at any point along the way. Whether farmers are unable to find laborers to harvest crops, causing them to rot in the fields, or ranchers are unable to have their meat processed because plants are closed. A single failure in the food supply chain can have far-reaching consequences across industries. Hyperinflation and hyperdemand for products cause dramatic price increases, causing even more panic and compounded shortages. Having an adequate supply of stable products, knowing how to cook to stretch your supplies, bartering for food, and growing your own food are all ways to protect yourself from shortages caused by an economic collapse. Second, paper currency loses its value. When an economy fails, paper currency loses its value. High-demand products and those with supply disruptions skyrocket in price, and products may become so expensive that the relative value of currency falls dramatically. Precious metals, tangible goods, skills, and services become the new currency as it costs more and more dollars to buy previously inexpensive products. Because precious metals have both global and intrinsic value, they will retain some of their value during an economic downturn. People understand that precious metals, such as small coins, have value. As a result, they will be more willing to barter for precious metals rather than paper currency. Precious metals will also retain value in neighboring economies that are not experiencing a collapse, possibly more valuable than gold itself. When paper currency is literally worthless, the paper on which it is printed, what you can do will determine what goods and services you can obtain. Homelessness is number 3. With the 2020 CARES Act set to expire soon in the United States, the country may face a homelessness crisis before the end of the year. Politicians and economists are already warning that the additional income on top of unemployment benefits may be the only thing keeping people in their homes and apartments. The merits of pro-opening and pro-quarantine factions continue to be debated, but with unemployment at historic highs and consumers spinning dramatically slower, the economy is unlikely to add the millions of jobs that have been lost. Fourth, large-scale migrations. Large-scale migrations are unavoidable as people seek out rumored locations with jobs or food. People who find themselves homeless will seek locations where they can work, eat, or find stable shelter, just as they did during the Great Depression in the Dust Bowl. People may move across the country and through your community in search of work and resources. They may move across or through your area, posing safety and security concerns for you and your resources. They may attempt to homestead near you and forage in the same areas as you, reducing your available resources. Following every armed conflict, large caravans of migrants flee their once stable homes in search of a better life. The fifth unavoidable occurrence is the interruption of utilities, as utility services are cut off for non-payment. Utility piracy is becoming more common. This can cause power to be diverted away from your location, resulting in large-scale regional outages as prices rise or money becomes worthless. Utilities will never be a free service, so they've just been turned off. The power grid in the United States is very old and in constant need of maintenance and repair. As utilities are unable to meet maintenance schedules or are forced to reduce labor force, extended periods of utility are unavoidable, as are eruptions. Alternative energy sources and water reserves provide some protection against the negative consequences of an economic collapse. Having access to natural water flows or collection points can help you survive disruptions, and having some form of alternate power generation, such as solar or wind energy, can help you at the very least sustain yourself. Sixth, crime is on the rise. When a country's economy fails, crime and lawlessness skyrocket. Kidnappings, muggings, robberies, and looting become commonplace when local law enforcement is unable to keep up or maintain a police force in the field. In some cases, criminals and desperate people will prey on the weak and seize by force whatever they believe they can safely get away with. These crimes will be committed by individuals taking advantage of the situation, but as the country continues to deteriorate, roving gangs and armed groups may become more common as others see normal societal rules and laws only applying to some, and a growing desperation emerges in some areas. Number 7, military rule. When an economy fails, the threat of military rule rises from potential to probable. When the police are unable to control the lawlessness, local, state, and federal governments will do everything in their power to restore peace, maintain some semblance of stability, and retain power. This can lead to more armed confrontations, which can lead to an increase in military presence in some areas. Martial law will be imposed. Guard units may have control over pockets of population that may end up fighting for that control. You should be prepared to go underground or bug out to your location. If you have one, having prepper stores off-site secured or even buried will allow you to get to a safer location and survive when many city preppers do not. The 8th occurrence during any nation's economic collapse is the limitation or complete failure of fire, police, and health services. If there is a billing fire, but the streets are blocked, no fire engines will arrive to put it out. If the police are attempting to put down a riot, no one will be available to stop the robber at your back door. Will anyone come for you if you cut yourself, or have a medical emergency if hospitals are overrun with the injured and sick? When local economies suffer, these employees may be laid off or fired. They will not work for free indefinitely. No more disaster relief. Number 9. In addition to the failure of local fire, police, and health services to recognize that disaster relief is our 9th thing to go, an economic downturn or depression can be fatal after a natural disaster, and federal relief and rescue sources may be unavailable or unable to reach you. Any natural disaster would increase the death toll and exacerbate the economic collapse. In the absence of a federal relief effort and local fire, medical, and police services, a hurricane hitting the East Coast, for example, could result in famine, disease, looting, and a mass migration of fleeing people. 10th, a new world recovery, the inevitable recovery of any nation's economy, follows the collapse of its economy. Every economy is cyclical. What holds and retains value may change as circumstances change, but a new world emerges even as governments change. Economies continue to exist in some form or another. Power can shift at the highest levels. Whole systems or democracies can quickly devolve into feudalism or authoritarianism. A region's stability will eventually return. It is impossible to know what that looks like, but if you prepare for the immediate events that occur when an economy collapses, your chances of weathering the storm and surviving to a time of recovery increase. For more such informative videos, subscribe to our channel and like the video. See you in the next video.